Hey guys, welcome to the Mobility Lab, and today we are going to be looking at the ankle, okay? One of the most important joints when it comes to our squats, our lunges, running, our gait, all right? The ankle is one of the joints that we need to really focus on because it is so heavily impacted by modern day life, spending a lot of time seated. Ladies, if you wear high heels a lot for work, so your foot is in this plantar position, okay, it starts to impact on our ankles. And the other thing we've got to remember is we're actually on our ankles all the time, okay? So we are effectively compressing the ankle joint a lot of the time, okay? So the ankle is really important, and again, if you've seen the other videos, you will know that if we don't have good ankle mobility, we are going to borrow that mobility from another joint. Ultimately, probably going to be the hips, and that's often why you see a lot of people leaning a long way forward when they're doing their squats, is because their ankle doesn't have the mobility to perform the movement, okay? And therefore, it's taken from the hips. All right, so when we're looking at the ankle, what we're actually effectively looking at is what we call dorsiflexion, and that is the ability for you to move your knee forward and keep your foot in a really strong, stable position, no fallen arches, okay, no heel coming off the ground. We're looking at that movement there, okay? So, obviously, if we look at the ankle, muscles around it, in particularly, we've got the calf. So, after we've gone through our joint rolling, again, if you've seen the previous video, all right, you would know about the joint rolling and the importance of that. We're going to start to look at rolling the calf. In particular, we're going to start nice and low, all right? So we're going to roll from just above the ankle to that mid-calf area, just forward and back. Now, when we're rolling, we want to add enough pressure to create like a 7 out of 10 kind of scenario, okay? So pushing down as we need to and using our other leg to release if we need to reduce the amount of pressure. We can also roll around, which is always really important. So cross, and then we're going to bring it up and we're going to roll the belly of the calf or the top side of the calf, again forward and back, nice and controlled, and then we're going to left to right as well. So remembering the myofascial release or foam rolling is designed to break down the fascia of the muscle and return it to a more supple state, okay? So when it's supple, it's pliable, it can move more, it's not as restrictive. Also promotes blood flow to the area, which is really important. So that's how we can start to help our ankle mobility. Now, how do we measure ankle mobility? Well, one of the best drills that you can do for ankle mobility is standing up against a wall or an upright, placing your foot right up against that upright, and from here, just squatting down, touching your knee to the upright, and then back again. We're not leaning into it, we effectively want to squat down. And when we squat down, what I'm looking for, and if I use this foot so you can see a bit more, I'm looking to make sure that my arch stays up and my heel stays on the ground, okay? So squatting down and my arch is not fallen, so I haven't rolled in, okay? And I haven't had to bring my heel up on the ground. So I'm gonna do that, squatting down, keep my hips square. I'm gonna do it 5 times. I'm then gonna bring my foot back about 1 inch and I'm gonna do it again. So if I can reach the upright, that means that my knee is able to go in front of my toes. Commonly thought to be a bad thing, not bad at all, as long as we've got good alignment. The only time that becomes an issue is if I go to come forward and my knee starts to track away from my foot. Then we have a potential issue. But if I can keep my knee in line with my toes, then that's good biomechanics. So again, I've done 5, so I'm going to pull my foot back about 1 inch again. All right, I'm going to go again, and I can still reach just okay? And if I pull it back a little bit more, what we're gonna find is that, all right, I can't reach the upright anymore unless I come up off my heel or if I start rolling my ankle. So we know where my limit is. So then I'm gonna do the other foot. Same process, and hopefully what we're gonna find is that, oh, it's about there on this side, okay? And we're gonna note if there's any differences. Because if there is a difference in ankle mobility from one side to the other, and if it's quite significant, and when I'm talking significant, I'm like, if let's say one side is 10 centimeters and one side is 5 centimeters, that's a 50% difference. That's very significant. Generally what that's going to mean is it's going to increase the risk of injury, because when you do a squat, what you may find is that your body twists. So for example, all right, rather than squatting straight down, okay, you might actually, because of the mobility, your body might actually twist because one side has more mobility than the other. Obviously putting a huge amount of pressure through the hips, through the joints, and through the knees and ankles. So something to be very conscious of. So if I've got a squat session, I'm gonna make sure that I've done my foam rolling of my calf beforehand. I'm gonna make sure I've done that drill. How can I improve my range from that drill there, okay? Number one is you've got to be consistent. Do it often. Other ways that you can help to do that is you can do what's called distraction work, okay? And distraction work helps to create space in the joint, okay? So space in the joint so it can move, all right? And this is obviously really important. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a band, I'm gonna tie it off, and I have a little bit of resistance on it. I'm gonna place my foot inside and I'm going to keep that band nice and low. All right, I'm going to have the resistance on there. Okay, and from here, what I'm going to do is very similar to the drill. I'm just going to drive my knee forward. Keeping my foot nice and still, no fallen arches, just driving my knee forward each time. I might do 5, 6 on one side, and 5, 6 on the other. What's happening is while my ankle wants to go forward, the band is pulling back, and that's helping to create space. We can also have a lateral distraction. So again, we can have the band. Now the band is pulling my foot that way, all right? So I have to work to keep everything nice and aligned, and I can go through and I can work on my dorsiflexion in that sense as well. Obviously, once I've been through some of these drills, I can go back and I can retest. So I can see if that's actually improved my dorsiflexion from when I first did the test up against the upright. But guys, that's a basic start in regards to how you can improve your ankle mobility. Like I said, if I'm about to go into a squat session, I'm going to have done my ankle rolling, my joint rolling. I'm going to have done my dorsiflexion drill. I'm going to be doing some calf myofascial release with a foam roller, all right? And I might also be doing some banded distraction work. This is all the stuff you want to be doing prior to starting your exercise and your warm up. Guys, that's the Mobility Lab. That's ankle mobility, in particular dorsiflexion, how we can improve it and how you can improve your squat session. See you later.